love that theme song. I just love it. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Welcome once again to this week's edition of Nothing But the Truth with
Brother Jamil
and Sister Tisha. We got more for you this evening, and tonight's show, as you know, is always very special. We say that every week because it's true every week. It's a very special program, and we don't want anybody to miss any part of it. So grab your beverage of choice, get you a hot chocolate or a tea, or if you're down this way, get you a sweet tea or a lemonade, and come on to the screen because this is a great program tonight filled with information and inspiration. Is going to help us make a better decision about our education. So all that's coming up on Nothing But the Truth tonight. It's my privilege at this time to turn you into the hands of the one that you all know is the world's greatest and most beautiful co-host, the great Sister Tisha.
All right. I think that's me. Assalamu alaikum, family. Welcome to another exciting episode of Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. You know what we do right before we start. First, I want to thank you for being here, but also we want to ask you to help us grow this platform. And by doing that, what we ask that you do is to go over to our YouTube page, Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha, like, share, and subscribe. Or you can just, in the search bar, just put the @ Jamil and Tisha, take you right to the page. Then after that, please just go right over to our Facebook page. Do the same thing, like, share, and subscribe. Jamil Muhammad or Tisha Muhammad. Then come on back because we got an exciting show.
Yes, indeed. And before we leave this evening, we're also going to let you know how you can get in contact, not only with Nothing But the Truth. We'll get you in contact with us for bookings and for support, and in contact with us for outstanding products that are about to be released. We have all of that.
Oh,
we want you to be able to get in touch with tonight's guest because he's impacting lives in great numbers.
Yes.
Might as well tell you who he is. I might as well. You think I can just tell him who he is, huh?
You might. You want to say hi to Brother Lamar first.
Oh, there's Brother Lamar. Good to see you, Brother Lamar. Wa alaikum salam, my dear brother. From Brother Harold Muhammad. Always good to see you, sir. Wa alaikum salam. And Brother Harold is happy to see that we both look tonight, both Sister Tisha and myself, look like we are in our right minds. We don't look, we don't look troubled at all, We look okay, like regular people. And that's the way we like it. That's the way we like it, Brother Harold. And so we've got more. We'll be welcoming folks in as they come in. Send the word out. Let folks know, yes, Nothing But the Truth is back. I'm looking for some people tonight. I'm looking for cornbread. Tell him I'm looking for him. There's Trisha. All right. Good to see you, family. Always good to see our family from the mighty state of Texas. And we got much more to do. So as everybody comes in the room and checks in and gets comfortable and puts their feet up, we want to introduce our guest tonight because we expect to have a freewheeling and very informative conversation.
Absolutely.
Our guest tonight is our dear brother, Enoch Muhammad. He's a nationally recognized educator, speaker, and co-founder of Hip Hop DetoxX. A public health and youth development initiative that's impacted already over 400,000 youth. I didn't mispronounce that.
Right.
400,000 youth, parents, and educators across the country. With more than 2 decades of experience, he specializes in blending music, culture, social and emotional learning, and trauma-informed practices to transform lives and communities. Key elements, right? He's the author of Poison, A Hip Hop Journey, and that's a book you got to add to your library. Poison, A Hip Hop Journey. I'm not going to tell you all the stories in it. Maybe we might show you some of the graphics. It's a really beautiful, beautiful production. But he's the author of that, Poison, A Hip Hop Journey, and the co-creator of the Holistic Human Development Model, which equips, and you notice how Holistic Human Development has the same initials as Hip Hop Detox.
Oh,
see what he did there?
Yeah.
Which equips young people with tools for mental wellness, leadership, and purpose. My brother Enoch has led programs in schools, juvenile centers, and community organizations. And his work has been featured on major media platforms, including CNN, ABC, and Fox News. And through his work, he continues to empower the next generation to rise above challenges reclaim their identity, and build a future rooted in discipline, knowledge, and healthy lifestyle choices. Brothers and sisters, neighbors and friends, would you join me and Tisha in welcoming our brother tonight to the program, Brother Enoch Muhammad? Give him a hand. I know where you are. You're giving him a virtual hand. Good to see you, my brother. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, and wonderful to see you both.
Oh,
Praise be to Allah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're going to get right to it, brother, because I can tell you're doing fine. I don't have to ask how you're doing. You look like $4 or $5 million.
Oh,
okay.
Praise be to Allah.
With $4 or $5 million, you can almost buy 10 or 12 gallons of gasoline today. So,
almost. Yes,
yeah,
sir.
almost. Almost. But so you're looking great. You're sounding great. We're going to get right into the discussion. I'm going to yield the first question to the great Sister Tisha because there's much that we need to learn. Feel free to comment in the text, everybody. Feel free to ask your questions, and we'll get to them in as close an order as we can. Let's go.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Brother Enoch. Let's start it off at the very beginning. Start with sharing with our audience what actually is Hip Hop Detox.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I want to first say thank both of you all for the invitation. I want to also start off by saying Bismillah Rahman Rahim, in the name of Almighty God, Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. I bear witness that regardless to land, label, or language, there's one source, one creator, one master architect, and I give thanks and praise, knowing that that one came, and not only did he come, but he gave us his name.
Yes.
And we're thankful for Allah coming in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. And we are very thankful that we were blessed to have the one that used to be called Elijah Poole, but he was put into a process where he became not only the exalted Christ or the messenger Messiah, but he became our true friend.
Yes.
Our true friend. And we thank Allah and the most honorable Elijah Muhammad for being part of our lives and not leaving us comfortless, because we were blessed to have one that was shaped with both hands.
Come on.
With both hands. And so someone like me coming into the knowledge of self back in 1990 in November, I got Message to the Black Man put in my hands, and I read that book, studied that book as a college student, and that led me to listen to our honorable brother, Minister Louis Farrakhan Muhammad. And so I just want to start off, by giving thanks, because I know that if it wouldn't be any Hip Hop Detox, wouldn't be any book Poison, wouldn't be no Brother Enoch, because Brother Enoch was calling himself Daryl back then. So I first want to give thanks. And I want to start off by saying that the answer, what is Hip Hop Detox? It goes back to what I'm saying, but more specifically, Hip Hop Detox is the culmination of young brothers like myself in the city of Chicago who came into the Nation of Islam in the 90s, and I came into a older squad, Al Jihad squad. Our brother recently passed, brother Walter 2X back in the day, Big Perry, we big part of the next squad I came into, but him and I went to high school together. And so when I came into Mosque number 2, Mosque Mariam, I was blessed to be able to meet a lot of older brothers who really embraced me as a 19-year-old. However, I hung out with a lot of the brothers who was part of the Mighty Task Force at the time. And so as a hip hop artist, a dancer, one who was deep into house music and hip hop, I became one who wanted to take what it is that we were doing artistically and culturally and use it as a way to educate or edutain, as our brother KRS-One would say. We want to find a way to give the truth to our people and put the message in the music, which predates what we call hip hop, because we have a history and a herstory of putting the truth in that way. So Hip Hop Detox, we give praise knowing that the origins are deep in terms of how far back it goes. However, it wouldn't have been a Hip Hop Detox until we got a certain call. In 2005, there was a call made.
Okay.
The Millions More movement, myself, and at the time I was managing an artist named D.A. Smart.
This is about D.A. Smart and his destiny.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was managing that brother after seeing him as an artist myself back in 1990 and saying this brother is the coldest hip hop artist I had ever seen. And that was right in the face of Big Daddy Kane being in the same room with us. I'm seeing D.A. Smart for the first time. And I said, man, he's dope. And so years later, I wound up managing him, and I was able to arrange, Allah blessed us to meet with the Honorable Brother Minister Louis Farrakhan and tell him what was on our minds to do. And so the minister said, hey, I know you about to be in them streets doing the work, but I want you to be on my tour. So take your streets ideas and go on tour with me. And D.A. Smart and myself, we did 23 cities with the minister for the Millions More movement. And so
this was around 2005, right? Because I remember that time period. Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
2005. It's 2005. Yeah, all of the last 23 cities of that tour. I think we started in Milwaukee. And then we went from Milwaukee to Detroit. And so that was a whole journey going right into DC.
I just want to bear witness with you, Brother Enoch, when you came to Baltimore on that tour. Yeah. And I remember DA looked at the crowd. It was in a large church auditorium, and there were people everywhere, and it was not cold. It was actually kind of heated and warm in the room. And DA came out and he said about what he said about, and he left the conclusion with us. He said, black people ain't prejudiced. You know what we are, Enoch?
We just mad.
We just what?
We just mad.
We mad. Black people ain't prejudiced. We just mad. So when you think about DA and Enoch working together with the direction of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and DA Smart, an institution in Chicago, if you already don't know who he is, you probably have heard him on WGCI at 6 p.m. in the evening, because every night he used to call the whole city to order and tell us, you better put your left foot in front of your right foot and walk with me through the city of Chi, where the votes be. I mean, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Together, we're doing something excellent. So, Brother Enoch, tell us now, in 2005, that tour develops, and now you're starting to pull the seeds, the germination of Hip Hop Detox from those instructions, right?
Well, yes, sir. The call was made, and the minister said, when you go back home, I want you to pick from those ministries. There's 9 ministries to choose from. We need to do the work with our people, and we need to do it using the ministry. So when he said that, we had 3 buses that we were blessed to organize. We had an A. Philip Randolph bus, a D.A. Smart bus, and a Chairman Fred Hampton bus. And so we were blessed to fill those buses up and organize the people. So when we came back to Chicago, we went to the Carter G. Woodson Library, 95th and Halsted, and we met. And the people were wondering, well, what should we do next? And so we had to take a vote, like, what direction should we go in? And they unanimously said, we need to go after our youth. We need to do the work that you're already doing, but let's take it to the next level. So we had already begun doing programs in the city of Chicago in 2005. At that time, my brother, just to say this, in the history of what's been going on, I started off working with Prince Akeem and Omnipotent Enterprises when being William Muhammad, not Sharif Muhammad at the time. We had a whole meeting dealing with entertainment in the Nation of Islam back at that time. So I go back to that time period with Star and Crescent and Kenny, KX on the Flex, you know, the Human Orchestra, and, you know, so we all together doing, you know, the music. And so by the time we get to 2005, and, you know, I worked with No ID when he had K Fox Def Jam, and so I was working with him. So a lot of work had transpired. Soldiers at War, I can't leave them out. Soldiers at War, with them.
And they'll be on this program soon. Brother Aziz will be on this show.
Oh, yes.
Aziz. So we got to continue. Go ahead, brother. You roll it.
So I'm putting it out there so people can understand how many of us have worked together. Thank Allah for Sinister Black. Oh, man, may Allah be pleased with that, brother. Sinister Black in Atlanta, Georgia.
Sleep in Judah.
Man.
Wonder who will wake him.
So when you get
Sinister Black, by the way, is the brother Herman Muhammad.
Herman Muhammad
From Atlanta, Georgia. He's originally from Washington, D.C., and this bears repeating here. Was a beautiful brother of ours, a hip-hop hero, really. And the way he taught Islam in his rhymes, it was masterful. And you see Brother Enoch shaking his head. Brother Herman was on the brink of great success. He was a barber. by trade, and one day in his barber shop, men of evil intent came in to settle a dispute with someone else in the barber shop. Brother Herman decided to take the women and children out of the barber shop. He went, put his arms around them, Sister Monica, you know it, and put them out, took them out of the barber shop into the streets so that they could be safe. One of the bad men saw him doing that and decided he didn't want him to do it and shot him in the back with a 9mm weapon. He died on the spot physically, but he is in us today.
Yes.
If you haven't heard of the sinister Mr. Black, please check him out. We'll try to play some of his music for you sometime. Brother Herman was and is a hero. Sister Monica, whose comment is on the screen right now, her husband, Brother Wade, their children, all of our cousins and neighbors and nephews from Atlanta, as I was serving as the minister of the mosque at that time. That brother was a bad man.
Brother
We
Herman.
thank you for you mentioning him tonight.
Yeah. That brother, I had a chance to really get to build with him. Me, myself, and Brother Kenny, and you know, all I want to just say, because I'll get into it because the emotion of it. But that brother, he really, at that time, he was the hope in the sense of being able to break through to those other areas of our culture, to be able to bridge gaps, you know. And so I say all that just to say that when you consider that type of history and those different aspects of our history, by the time we got to 2005, there was no doubt that what it was that we needed to do was to follow instructions, hear, and obey. And so Hip Hop Detox was born. The first time we did a Hip Hop Detox was January 27th of 2006. 2006. We were at a medical center right down from Original Man Barbershop.
Yes, sir.
Earl.
Shout outs.
Shout out. So we did our first Hip Hop Detox, but that came as a result of us saying that we must do something substantive to continue on the work that we've been commissioned to do in the spirit of the Million Man March and in the spirit of the Millions More movement and those next steps. And so, Tisha, when you ask that question about Hip Hop Detox, that's our origin. And part of our origin is the fact that we have been doing programs with young people over a period of time. We started doing programs with young people, of course, going back to 1991, you know, Mariam and Muhammad University and throughout the cities of Chicago. I don't know if you know Brother Jamil, but I was Prince Akeem's booking agent and public relations person during that time period. So I learned from the push of Brother Sharif that, hey, you all better get them music business books and pick something to do and just do it. And
I
so
remember
he
was telling people, get the book called This Business of Music.
That's exactly what I get. Donald Passman is the attorney.
Yes. And he would tell us, and I remember that was a fly on the wall back then when you all were in there, especially in the Supreme Captain's office, in those meetings, circled around the desk, and he's in there firing it down. And sometime I would pass by and hear something, but the creativity, the energy, the life, the force and power of joy and Islam was in those rooms. No, we weren't perfect in those days, but you know what? Something is still here with us.
Yes, sir.
And something is still in our brother Enoch that he's sharing with us tonight. You're actually you're viewing and watching Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. Our guest tonight, Brother Enoch Muhammad, and he's bringing the heat already. Back to you, Sister Tisha.
Brother Enoch, we know that you've reached hundreds of thousands of youth. Is there any particular transformation that you've seen in them that stand out the most from Hip Hop Detox in the youth?
Quite a few. Unfortunately, many of us in these different institutions, and I'm speaking about Black people in particular, we overlook some things that are very obvious. First of all, when we define hip hop, we say hip hop is truth without boundaries. That's how we define it. We don't discard the 5 cultural elements, but we're saying that the essence of what we're doing is we're bringing truth. It's similar to Nothing But the Truth, right? But hip hop, we define it as truth without boundaries, and the detox is to remove the poison. So at the root of all poisons are lies, half-truths, and myths. So it's a myth, a lie, and a half-truth that young people cannot discipline themselves because they're affected so heavily by ADHD and ADD and whatever other diagnosis that they give us. So when we have them doing exercise of power, we say, all right, I'm going to demonstrate, you emulate. A 10, cut.
Yes.
And they see us, feet 45 degrees, chest out, stomach in, fist balled up tight, like you're about to crush concrete. And they get a challenge, 30 seconds without moving. The teachers, when they come in, they nearly fall on the floor because they're looking at how you get Denzel to stand anywhere for 30 seconds without moving. He not talking, he not touching anybody, he not playing the flatulence game. What's going on here? And so we're telling them that you have to demonstrate how to behave, how to discipline oneself. You have to find different ways to get them to see how to master themselves. So we don't go in using the language that we use. We call this the exercise of power, because God is force and power. You have to exercise that. So we have young people, when they come into contact with Hip Hop Detox in whatever format, because when you ask the question, what is Hip Hop Detox? Well, some young people met us as an open mic. Some met us as an alternative to out of school suspension and expulsions. Some of them met us as males to men empowerment and mentoring program. Some of them may have met us with our Rhinestones to Diamonds all girls program. So they may have met us in different ways. However, everything we do is geared to touch the spirit, the mind, the emotion, and the body. And we actually say body, because these days people talk about what's God body. So if you a God body, you got to recognize the difference when you transition from maleness to manhood. But you can't stop there, because there's another part after that, because we've been taught that man is an underdeveloped God. So we put all of that into a package so that when we go into the schools, we speak the language and we deliver the truth. We're in juvenile detention centers, we're in the universities, we speak the language and deliver the truth, whether it's considered social emotional learning, trauma informed practices, restorative, etc. So a lot of the young people, I would say, Sister Tisha, you know, we went through probably our first 10 years of working with different foundations that guide you on tracking, you know, and giving all the data. So we have 88% of the youth that have never returned to any kind of recidivist type of behavior, never been caught up in the juvenile justice system. 92% graduated from high school and went on to some type of post-secondary. So we have that kind of data. But when we worked with Steve Harvey for about 6 years and we went to his camp, Texas, and we were his post program here in Chicago. He told several of the sponsors that he had national sponsors, and they were trying to get on him about, you know, you doing this weekend program for boys, but where's your data? Where's your outcomes? And he said to them, and then he said to us, he said, the real question is, did they survive the following year? Did they live after they met me and met all these brothers and people who work with them for the weekend? Did they live for an entire calendar?
Wow.
Because you want to go after data, but did they survive? Did they live? Did they go to jail? Did they get shot up? Because unfortunately, most people who say they want to help young people, especially Black young people, they look for all of the data that they feel, you know, are the most important signs that they are doing well. But you got students that are in magnet schools, they're in choice high schools, and they're popping Percocets and Mollies. They're cutting on themselves. They're doing self-harm because there's something that's missing, whether it's in the home or whether it's in the school, but there's things that are missing. And so they feel like being considered at risk are only those particular students or youth. But with the internet, everybody's at risk. So, when it comes to those transformations, I would say the transformations, they span everything from incarcerations. We've been blessed with as many youth that we've worked with. We've been blessed to not have to go to any funerals for any youth that we've worked with. And that's a serious blessing, because many organizations, they go every other week. It seems like they're going to another funeral. So we've been blessed in that way. However, we recognize that there's a whole lot more work to do, because we can't just work with them in the schools and not affect what's going on at home with their parents and with the professionals that work with young people.
Wow, brother, this is so powerful. I'm going to ask, because I know I'm getting messages. People want to know how they can get in contact with Hip Hop Detox, how they can connect with Hip Hop Detox and do programs. And remember, he's not limited, dear brother and sister viewer. He's not limited to just Chicago.
Right.
All right. You hear us get on here and reminisce about the old Chicago days. And sometimes we do that, Enoch, but we certainly are national in scope. And when you're thinking about not having to go to any funerals, but also having touched hundreds of thousands of youth and their families, this is a blessing now. And we are praying with you, brother, that the blessing holds and that Hip Hop Detox does its work in Chicagoland and in the Midwest and on the East Coast and the West Coast and down south. That 23 city tour that you took with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, there are people who still remember you, brother. There are still people who know you and have not had a chance to connect with you programmatically yet. But if they would just call 773-563-4315, the number's on your screen right now. It's 773-563-4315. Make sure that the operators know your name, your number, your contact information, and what it is that can be done in your community with Hip Hop Detox. We are so grateful to have our guest tonight, Brother Enoch Muhammad. And yes, he's an organizational head. Yes, he's a leader and activist in the community. Yes, he is a towering figure in not only the history, but the current events of hip hop in his city and around the nation. But he's also a good brother. That's where it all starts. He's a good brother. You heard him at the top of the program, starting out being thankful, being thankful to Allah, thankful to Muhammad, thankful to Farrakhan. That kind of informing of his character and what he does is what I'm sure you're seeing right now. You're listening to and watching Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. We're coming close to the bottom of the hour, and we normally take a break here. We normally take a breather. Everybody gets a sip of their water, or in Chicago, they can have a sip of their Omar on the Nile. But we want to make sure everybody gets refreshed and comes back after these messages, because we've got more with tonight's guest, our brother, Brother Enoch Muhammad.
Stay tuned, everyone. We'll be right back. Assalamu alaikum, family.
Assalamu alaikum.
What are we saying? What are we doing? Woo! Assalamu alaikum, family. Assalamu alaikum, family.
Assalamu alaikum.
We want to thank you for taking the time to tune into Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil
and Sister Tisha. We thank you for every Thursday night joining us for appointment viewing. 8 p.m. Not 8 a.m.
I'm going to come in on the p.m.
Yeah, 8 p.m. Thursday nights by YouTube, by Facebook, by Instagram, by all the other means by which we can be seen. But we thank you, because without you, as a matter of fact, here the Manhattans, there's no me without you.
Why does he always do that? Assalamu alaikum.
There's no me.
You didn't say assalamu alaikum. You didn't say assalamu alaikum.
Oh, assalamu alaikum. Y'all don't have to tell me I already sound like Gerald Alston from the Manhattans. You don't have to tell me that. I know already. So
you're a bad man.
Bad man. I keep trying to tell Sister Tisha that I keep trying to tell her that now. Mm-hmm. Let me ask, before we go, Brother Enoch, into the second half of the program, which deals with the book in greater detail, Jamil, you mentioned something that I think is essential for people to remember. You're not just an activist or a do-gooder with an idea to be in doing good. You come up in the culture. And you talked about something that caught my ear tonight. You said that it did not begin in the cultural expression that is called hip hop. You talked about the roots being deep and the roots being established long before. May I just ask you, who are the elders from beyond the hip hop era of time whose excellence informed yours, either as a dancer, as a poet, as a MC, as a musician? Who informed you and inspired you in the way of the cultural expression of music?
Well, let me give a shout out to Baba. He's in the book, Baba Bassett.
Baba Bassett, my man.
Yeah, he's an elder who, I was in 7th grade, and I saw this brother come with his African garb on, and he had the locks and everything, and he was doing poetry and speaking about our heritage, and he was playing this instrument I had never seen before, and I discovered it was called the kalimba, or the thumb piano. and so he was one of the first ones that I would say, outside the realm of what we were seeing with breakdancing and things like that, he was one of the first that made me to kind of look a little bit deeper into, why Stevie Wonder's Songs in the Key of Life was my mother's favorite, album, and it was on rotation all the time. Why she loved Lou Ross, why my bonus father, as I call him now, but really my father, my sister's father, why he loved Coltrane, my favorite things, and it's like I'm listening to all this music, that's outside the realm of the hip hop and the popular music. And then I read a book as a first year college student. It was my first year. It was by a man at the time. His name was Leroy Jones, but he became Amiri Baraka.
Talk about blues people, man.
Blues people. And that book was phenomenal. And that's why, I know we don't have enough time to talk about it now, but the movie Sinners is up there as one of my favorite movies, because before I found out that Ryan Coogler had read the book Blues People, I saw into the movie and I saw some of those underpinnings, because when I first read Blues People, after I read it, I said, man, they went into all the different genres, looking at the socio-economic, psychological, political aspects, and not just studying the music, but the context of the music. And as it got towards the end of the book, I said, wow, he communicated that there would be an art form that would be like a mirror reflection of the condition of Black people in America, but he could not pinpoint what that genre would be called. And I said back in the 90s, I said, wow, he's talking about hip hop, without even knowing the name of it, but he was expressing exactly what it was. So I would say that those types of influences, and I can't leave out one of my favorite messages coming into the mosque as a baby Muslim, The Color Purple.
Yes. Okay.
By the Honorable Brother Minister Louis Farrakhan. When I saw that lecture and the breakdown and the analysis of The Color Purple, it made me want to look deeper. And even Brother Akbar, I would listen to him talk about different movies and musical expression. So a lot of people, I would say, from those kind of perspectives, it made me look deeper into the art form. But growing up, those were some of the ones that stood out to me.
Excellent.
Wow.
Thank you for the thoroughness of that answer. Brother's reciting, or he's referencing a book, I should say. It's called Blues People. If somebody wants to put it in the chat, its author is Amiri Baraka, the great poet from Newark, New Jersey, the intellectual, etc. But at the time he published the book in 1963, his name was Leroy, Leroi Jones. And so you'll hear that book referenced among many serious scholars of the music. And tonight, you're hearing it as a witness of the deep roots of Brother Enoch Muhammad and Hip Hop Detox. Powerful, powerful discussion. Thank you, my brother. Thanks for that answer.
Thank you for that question.
Can we talk a little bit about the role? What role do you think media and music is playing in shaping today's youth behavior?
I can't think of a way that it's not.
Right.
You know, when I finished, school, getting my bachelor's, it feels like I went to school to increase my ability to learn how to be a FOI on an island by yourself, and you gotta do the work still, even though you have all these adverse elements. Because I was down in Carbon Hell, Brother Jamil, Sister
Yes,
Tisha.
Southern Illinois.
So I was the only fruit down there. And you had Ku Klux Klan, and you had a whole bunch of people talking about Islam versus Farrakhanism. So I'm fighting everybody getting it. And there was a class that I took called Computer Mediated Communications. And in that class, you had people in a room, majority, Caucasian, about 2 blacks, and they were talking about how they were going to set up communities in the future, and they were going to be typing to one another, even though we're in the same room. We could just talk to each other, but we're on the computers and we're doing lessons where you're typing on your computer. Hey, how you doing, Jan? Hey, what's going on, Fred? And you're in the room, and I'm like, why are we doing this? However, they were perfecting the science of it back in 1997, 98, 99, dealing with what they call computer mediated communications. But the whole goal was to be able to set up the Matrix before the movie The Matrix came out, to set the Matrix up. And so what we have now is we have a lot of people plugged into devices.
Yes.
They're plugged into devices, and they're not plugged into their source or one another. And it's doing what it was designed to do. And so the medium, if you want to be an electrician or a plumber, you could learn through this medium how to be the best electrician or plumber, because you can ask all the questions, you can get all the do-it-yourself videos, you can get all the trainings if that is what you want to do. However, I know we all remember this part of the prayer, you seek refuge in the Lord of the Dawn from those who cast evil questions in firm resolution.
Come on now.
And unfortunately, when you get an app and the first thing it has is what's on your mind, and then it has an algorithm that will give you some things to put on your mind. Unfortunately, we have become not what the popular idea is: art imitates life and life imitates art. But there's a German by the name of Bertolt Brecht, B-E-R-T-O-L-T, Brecht, B-R-E-C-H-T. And he talks about how art is not a mirror, but art is a hammer with which to mold reality, shape reality. It's a hammer. And that's the way they used it in Germany. And that's how they used it as a weapon. And so that weapon has been used on us in a variety of ways. And so today we have a huge challenge, which is to not only intercept and interrupt that improper propaganda that we're getting, but we now have to find ways to be able to get our people to recognize it's okay to put something physical in your hands and do things outside of a screen. Because if you don't, you're going to neurologically put yourself in a position where you're going to continue to be dumbed down.
Yes.
My goodness. You're listening to Brother Enoch Muhammad, the special guest tonight on Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. And we want to pivot now, brother, because the depth of your answers, I'm sure, is sending us and our audience to go do the research. Yes, I saw as you were speaking, I saw Tisha's pen just moving.
Yeah, just look.
She's writing down the notes, and that's what we should do after a discussion this significant. But one of the things I think we have to focus on is you're an author. You are a published author. This is the book, Poison, and it's published under the pen of NOC, which of course, Knock right there. And you see the flyer, the announcement on the screen. You can actually get copies of this book sent to other folks. You can have it sponsored for libraries, for youth centers. You can have it sponsored for all the members of your family at this coming summer's family reunion. Think of how many knucklehead little cousins you got and get a copy for everybody. Then get a copy for each one of their fathers, your uncles, who's also knuckleheads. Anyway, but this is the book, Poison. Tell us about its origin, its story. And I do have to say, the way it's laid out, brother, is remarkable. The first day I got it, you autographed it for me. And I sat there with you, and I'm sure I bent your ear off the side of your head, brother. But I had to tell you, this is just powerful storytelling, great graphics, the timeline in the book, and the labels of records. It's an experience. Tell us about how it developed and came to be.
Well, a lot of young people, and each page is different. When you go through the book, there's a detox page where there's something that's put in there to kind of give some insight. And so one of the detox pages, it reads, "Slangs may change, but unfortunately, many things remain the same."
Mm-hmm.
And so what we see going on that's cyclical, we see certain mistakes and errors that it seems it's on repeat. We keep making the same mistakes. And it's like, no, young people, you don't have to make the mistakes we made, make some new ones. Go learn from our mistakes and errors or our misunderstandings, for those who know the Form 4.
Yes, sir.
The misunderstandings we have. So that way you can stand on top of us, and then you can see much farther than us. And so the book came about because there were so many young people over the years that I would watch and I would see, and I would share stories with them, and they would laugh and they would talk about how it related to them. And it just came about like, you need to put this in a form so they can really experience this and really use it as a way for them to address their own trauma, their own conflicts, their own problems or issues, but use someone else as a case study.
Yes.
That way, if you feel insecure about talking about your own issues, if you feel some shame or guilt, you don't have to deal with your issue at the moment. Deal with Durrell's, deal with C's, deal with D's, deal with so-and-so. So that way you can see when they ran away from home, would you have done that? Do you think it was a different way? When Durrell went to jail, do you think he made the right decision that night? Or could he have made a different choice? What would you have done? So a lot of the times when we deal with our people in general, sometimes it's better just to ask questions than it is to just give them a whole bunch of information, because sometimes they can come into the realization of their own answers, the right answers, but they're afraid sometimes to either go there, or they don't even know that they have it inside themselves.
Wow. Beautiful use of questions and answers as a means of cementing ideas in the hearts and minds of the people who study them. That's the principle behind much of the supreme wisdom in our nation. There are questions and answers, and when considering the exact language of the question, thinking about the exact language of the answer, learning it, committing it to memory, putting it in our hearts, and then understanding it, we grow in our understanding of the principle contained in the question. So that's a very, very powerful point, brother. And the fact that you're teaching on that level, it frees you from accusations of pointing your finger and wagging your finger at people. It allows you to have a process of pedagogy, if you will, where you're lifting people on their own ideas. Because whenever I get an idea and I think it's my own idea, I'm going to respond to it. Sister Tisha's masterful at that. Sometimes Saturday morning, I think that I want to mow the lawn. I think that I want to do in the cars. I think that I want to do it. So when you think it's your own idea, it comes across better. Tisha, did you have any question that you wanted to ask at this time about the book or anything? This is a fascinating discussion.
Well, you had just said something. You said sometimes our people don't like you just asking a lot of questions. You let them speak. Do you think that helps them process their trauma a little better, or get to, I'm curious about, because most times people want to talk at you, and you're taking the approach to let them speak. That kind of caught me.
Well,
why is that?
Well, I'll tell you, again, all praise is due to Almighty God Allah, because the study groups that we have on Fridays is an example. Deliberate dialogue is an example. Anytime you allow someone, and we've been blessed to go through a lot of what we call the Science of Atonement clinic sessions, where people are allowed to vent, right? Because they're overheated, overstimulated. So you allow them to vent, get it all out, even to the point where if you got to puke, go ahead and puke. We're going to listen, not for judgment purposes. We want you to be able to understand what is it that got you really charged up, because you have to be able to get to a point where it does not charge you up in the same way, so you can analyze and get to that first part, which is, what is my contribution to the problem, conflict, or issue that I'm dealing with? Because if there's a problem, conflict, or issue in existence, no one can truly say they're 100% right or 100% wrong. Even if you're only 1% wrong when you deal with the science of atonement, let me address that 1%. Because maybe I said what I said and it was really out of resentment. You get what I'm saying? It was the truth, but I didn't say it out of love. I didn't say it out of like. I said it out of resentment, because I really resented the fact that I had to say this again.
Yes.
You know, so maybe it would have touched your heart more if I would have took that off. But I use that as an example just to say that, yes, you're right. We have to find ways to be able to communicate even to ourselves. It was so powerful to hear some years ago that, you know, you're not even qualified to judge yourself.
Yes.
That's a heck of a thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes we hypercritical of ourselves.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I don't know, Brother Enoch, if you ever heard me recount that, but that struck my ear, because the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan told me that directly to my face, that I was not qualified to judge myself. And he said the reason for that is that you are not your own servant. You are Allah's servant. So let him do the judging. See, in the meantime, he said, follow my instruction. My goodness. This is Brother Enoch Muhammad. We've got about 8 minutes left.
Man, time
talk to our brother. Man,
It
time
goes so fast.
Oh, brother, I hear time fly by. He gonna say, Brother Enoch, just he said, Brother Enoch, you long-winded. I said, they told me to get it in.
No, it's good though. It's good.
You good. And go ahead, honey. Go ahead.
I want to ask you something before we go. What legacy are you wanting Hip Hop Detox to leave behind? What is it? What do you see for the future? What do you want people to know you as?
Well, I'll be very honest with you. I don't necessarily think in terms of that, in terms of legacy. I think in terms of being pragmatic, we have to have a hip hop detox everywhere.
Okay.
We have to look at this as, instead of the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts as being your only option, every mosque, every church, every organization, every foundation need its own hip hop detox, so that the pedagogy and curriculum, we can train you up and you can customize according to where you're going. However, you need to have what it is that we're doing, so that way it could be in every city, every country, because hip hop is global. So wherever hip hop is, hip hop detox needs to be there.
Come on.
To say that, to take it even further, when you think about McDonald's, they have a franchise system, so that you have to go to McDonald's University and recognize how to make sure Big Mac is universally done. So we have to make it where those who see that there's value in this, you know, the Honorable Brother Minister Louis Farrakhan said to us on 2017, on that May, when we did the hip hop detox on that Tuesday, he told the people to, in every city, he said, you know, support hip hop detox. Let's keep it going around the country. And so I would say to those who, if you hadn't heard that, it's on YouTube, it's on Facebook, you know, the minister supporting it, but just know that everything that we're doing, even down to us giving praise for the Supreme Wisdom Book, telling us about the poison book, and the teachings telling us about the poison book, because all of us got a book. That's what the book tells us. We all got a book. So every poison book that we have presents an opportunity for us to turn that poison into an antidote. And so if you get the poison book, and tonight we're making it where you can donate whatever you want to donate. If you want to give $5, give $5. We're giving the ebook and the audio book. Let me make sure I'm clear. Not the tangible book. The tangible book has a cost, but the ebook and the audio book. If you want to donate, you know, please go ahead and donate, and we'll send you. All you have to do is hit us up on the email or call that number and send your email address, and we'll make sure you get the audio book or the ebook, whichever one you ask for, so then you can begin your journey, because all of us have an opportunity to turn whatever poison we've met with in life and turn it into an antidote, so that way those that we care about and love can see how to do the same.
Beautiful.
Very, very beautiful, brother. I thank you for taking the time out. What's this event that's taking place now in Chicago on the 18th of April? There's buzz already. Can you give us more information about what's taking place there at Chicago State?
Well, I first want to give thanks to another pioneer. He wasn't able to physically be there for our brother Akbar's janaza, but brother Olumenji, some of you all may remember
Yes.
the final call.
Yes.
Brother Olumenji, he worked with Dr. Bobby Wright over there on the west side. He is a founder of the African American Traumatology and Emergency Preparedness Society, along with the brothers and sisters who work with him, like Dr. Terry Mason and others. And so, in association with them and the Timbo organization at Chicago State University, teaching and educating men of Black origin, Brother Adrian Mercado, who is a mentee of the late great Baba Ronald Kwesi Harris, who also worked with Baba Olumenji. We're going to have an opportunity to not only get the science of how to stop the bleeding of a gunshot wound, or stop the bleeding of a stabbing anywhere on the body, but get the understanding of what to do and how to prepare yourself, because many times we enter a situation where we don't expect to be the first responder. We don't expect to be the one that could save someone's life. But you have to remember that because chaos and the unraveling is accelerating, you may need it at a cookout, a family reunion. You may need it when you go to the store. Something may happen and you may need that skill for someone else or yourself.
Wow.
So we want to make sure that we don't wait any longer to make to be qualified. I want to say that, and build our capacities to make our neighborhoods clean and decent places to live. We have to evolve our own individual and collective capacities, increase our bandwidth. And so there's many different ways of doing it. And this is one of the ways that we're asking people. This is a free event to the community. And you can come to Chicago State University. That's going to be Saturday, April 18th at the Gwendolyn Brooks Library on campus. Please come and join us. Bring your staff. I think we're going to have room for at least about 200 persons to be part of that training. But it's geared to help us to understand what to do, how to do, so that we could be successful in these kind of environments that we're in.
No doubt about it. You're listening to Brother Enoch Muhammad, the founder of Hip Hop Detox, and our brother and our friend. We only have a couple of minutes left, and so we're going to wind down now. And this may sound cliche, but I'm going to have to ask it because the audience will get me if I don't ask it. Would you please consider, my brother, coming and doing another segment of Nothing But the Truth with us to expand more on the ideas you put in front of us and how we can become active in this struggle to save our people? Would you just consider it?
Well, it would be an honor for me to do so, because again, I'm thankful for the invitation. And I want to also say that the co-founder of Hip Hop Detox is my wife, Sister Keisha. And so, I would love if she could join us as well, because I think it'd be a great opportunity for her to kind of give her insight into this as well.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And you know what they say about ladies whose name end with the sound Isha.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, those are great women.
He will pay for that one later.
Listen, we got a couple of brief announcements. We're going to make these announcements now. Hang on with us, Brother Enoch, because as he's coming back to the broadcast, we want to make sure that you support the platform on which the broadcast appears. That QR code that is in your upper right-hand corner of the screen as you watch, make sure you scan it and connect with Nothing But the Truth so you can become a supporter of the platform. There are other activities. There are other products that we'll be marketing, like the stickers. And if you really don't have stickers, I mean, shame on you if you don't have stickers. I mean, everybody got stickers. If your computer's out there with no stickers on them, Brother Enoch, if your computer's out there just naked, shame on you. That's indecent exposure to your computer. You need to have stickers. And when you give a donation to help this program, of course, we send you the stickers. I see that Sister Deanna's in the room tonight. I hope she got her stickers out of the mailbox. She just let them sit out there for a month in the mailbox. What are you going to do with Sister Deanna? Special greeting, right? Welcome to the Rockwell Radio Show. Our brother Vaughn Muhammad in Atlanta, another towering titan in the world of hip hop and music. Thank you so very much for being with us tonight. Nephew Amir Rashi. Is Amir with us tonight? I know Amir was in here.
Yes.
Yeah, big tall Amir, my man. Always glad to see my brother. Hip Hop Detox, he says in the comments. And so there's many more friends, brothers, sisters, neighbors, cousins, play cousins. We all in here tonight, and we have a shared interest in making sure that our people survive. You know, we don't preach here on Nothing But the Truth, because that's, you know, we don't do that, you know. Well, maybe a little bit, but let me just say this, just in the way of that. You know, Allah told the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and he shared with the minister, that Allah would send after us saviors, plural, to reach his people. If you can't see that we're sitting in the company of a savior,
Yes,
he's doing he didn't say a savior with a capital S. He didn't say worship me. I've never seen a picture of Brother Enoch looking down into the Holy Quran.
right.
I've never seen him say all that. But as a savior, there's something for every one of us to do. Our brother is finding and has found his lane, and it is flowering and prospering. Tisha, is there any last word you'd like to share before we go down to the credits and get everything cooking?
I just wanted to thank everybody again for tuning into another wonderful episode of Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. We invite you to come back, same place, this same time next week. Don't forget, if you haven't already done so, please go over to our YouTube page, like, share, and subscribe, and then do the same at Facebook. Like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend, everyone. We are trying to grow this platform. And if you are interested in becoming a guest on the show, or know someone who has something that could share with our audience to help us all grow, by all means, please reach out and let's see if we can make it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We've got 30 seconds left, and the last word is appropriately in the court of our brother, Enoch Muhammad. Dear
Yes,
brother,
sir.
give us that one line that we need to take away from this conversation.
One line. I would say, understand that your ability to evolve and grow is based upon the choices that you make. Your ability to evolve and grow is based upon the fact that as long as you don't have a period behind you,
Come on.
you're able to always do better. And every time we're blessed to breathe and see another day, that's another opportunity for us to evolve and grow and get better and better. So please don't put a period on yourself.
Yes, sir.
In the process.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Brother Enoch Muhammad, Sister Tisha Muhammad, I'm Brother Jamil Muhammad. Thank you for being with us this night. Thank you for watching, everybody. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum, family.